with the Know Your Rights bunker, which is also known as my office. I am an attorney in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I practice exclusively criminal defense, and it's been quite a while since I made a Know Your Rights episode for YouTube. There's quite a few reasons for that, and we're going to go over that and a few other housekeeping things real quick until I start talking about the evil and disgusting people that work for the TSA. Some of you may have watched some of my videos and you heard some humming. Some of them I just had really bad audio quality, and what I did, I bought a whole bunch of different microphones. I bought probably 3 microphones, and then I'd hook them into my nice little video camera that I had, and then when I finally posted them on YouTube, you hear a lot of humming, and like I said, I spent a lot of money on like 3 different microphones. I got a whole bunch of things set up, a lot of things to hold the camera, things to hold the microphone, plugged everything in. Anyway, I just got tired of all the problems coming along. So tonight, I'm just making this video on my phone, my iPhone. Because I usually make videos for Facebook on my phone, and they actually turn out better than when I hook up the video camera with the microphone, with the $100, $200 microphone I bought, and all that, and then get all the humming. So anyway, that's one reason I haven't made a video in a long time. Another reason, just been busy. And finally, let's talk about what I said in my first couple videos. I talked about my Know Your Rights cards, and I said I would send them out to anybody who asked. Well, when I first made those first couple of videos, I thought maybe I'd get a couple requests a week. Maybe 10 a month, maybe 20 requests a month. All of a sudden, at one point, I was getting over 100 requests per day. And it was impossible to keep up with. And I was already behind because I right off the bat, I started getting a lot more requests than I thought I would get. I started getting 10, 20 a day instead of 10, 20 a month, and it just got out of hand. It just got crazy. So finally, I put in the, what do you call that, the notation of the YouTube video, the notes you put underneath it. I said, I can't send these out anymore, and I think most people understood that. And I will send these out to you, these Know Your Rights cards that tell you the 3 big things you need to know about your rights, which I go over in episode 1 of these videos I'm making. If you live in Northeast Oklahoma, if you send me an email, I will send these out to you. But the other thing is, folks, if you live in Maine or California, I mean, I've even got requests for people in Europe for these cards, which the United States Constitution does not apply in Europe. So these cards are worthless to you. You got to figure out what the law is in the country you live. These only apply to the United States of America. But if you live in Maine, California, whatever, you need to get because they also have on the front of them is my contact information. You should get a card for an attorney in your local area, because if you get stopped by the police, you need an attorney, you need someone in your local area. And I still get people today sending me emails, calling me on the phone, asking about their case in Maine, New York. Folks, I'm licensed to practice law in Oklahoma and Kansas. And even though I'm licensed in Kansas, I really don't do any work up there anymore. So if somebody called me about their case in Kansas, I'm not up to date in the law and the sentencing guidelines and all that up in Kansas. The only place I know about law is Oklahoma. And it's also a crime for me. It's also a crime to give legal advice to someone in a state where I'm not licensed to practice law. But I wouldn't give anybody advice because I don't know. I don't know all the rules and the laws and the procedures and the judges in California and all that. So please don't send me emails or call me up asking me about your case in another state. I don't know. Okay. Again, one more time. If you live in Northeast Oklahoma, I will send you these cards. Send me an email with your address. And I get emails all the time. Will you send me some of your cards? And then there's no address. Or they say, will you send me some of your cards? And there's like a street address, no city, state, zip code. So look, if you live in Northeast Oklahoma, I will send you out some of my Know Your Rights cards. I got to have your name, a full address, city, state, zip code. All right. Now, I will put, just as I put in some of my other videos, I put down in the notations underneath where you can get similar cards. The ACLU makes some of these. There's some other people. I need a drink. There's some other people that make similar cards to mine that just have the Know Your Rights information without contact information for a lawyer on the front. I will continue to put those in the notes so you can find those, you can print them out, because they're very good to have in your wallet. But I can guarantee if someone in Maine, California, whatever is watching this video, there is some local attorney who will have cards similar to this who will send them out to you. And that's whose card you need, because if you get in trouble to police, you don't need to be calling me in Oklahoma. You need to be calling somebody local. All right. Now, this is going to be a long video. I haven't made one in a long time because I got to set up some history. And this video is, even though like I say it's a Know Your Rights video, it's going to be more of a rant, because we're going to talk about the TSA and the airport. And I'm mostly going to complain about what happened to me a week ago yesterday, which was Friday, November 30th. As I make this video, it's Saturday, December 8th, 2018. And I went to get on a plane on Friday, November 30th. That was a week ago from yesterday. And I'm going to talk about what happened. I'm going to talk about what our rights are at the airport. But basically, we have no rights at the airport. But you do have some rights that the TSA won't tell you about, just like they told me Friday, or a week ago Friday. And I'm going to talk more about that. But let's set this up. First of all, I don't even remember how long it was. I went to there. This was before they started Precheck. I went to the airport. I was going to fly out to New York. A good friend of mine's, he's an attorney in California. He was having a birthday party in New York. I was going to fly out, and this is right after they started the scanner, the body scanner. In fact, I think this was the first time ever I went into one of those body scanners. And I came out of the scanner and said, "Oh, the scanner's alerted." He said something about, we think there's something on your back, we're going to pat you down. Now, whether they were just going to pat down my back or my whole body, I don't know. But I said, "No, you're not touching me." And so that guy, he takes me over somewhere else. He gets a whole bunch of other guys. And so at one point, there was like 3 or 4 uniformed TSA people standing around me. Their supervisor, who's in a suit, a guy from the FBI, a guy from the, Federal Air Marshals, and then like 2 Tulsa airport police officers. So I'm tying up about 10 people because I said, "No, you're not touching me." And then, and this is where we're going to get into some of the talking about your rights. Although I need to bring that. Well, let's bring it up forward. Let's just go through the history, and then we'll talk more about our rights when I get to what happened a week ago. So I said, "No, you're not touching me. You have to do it." I know. And, let's check your ID. And they're all talking on their phones and walkie-talkie. I don't think they're walkie-talkies. They were all talking on their phones. I had these guys tied up for like 30 minutes. And finally they said, "Oh, well, you're going to kick you out of the airport, not get on an airplane." I'm like, "Well, this pervert over here is not touching me." So anyway, it took about 30 minutes, maybe a little less. I'm standing there without my shoes on, without my belt. All these idiots. Just complete idiots surrounding me. Finally, they kicked me out of the airport. And so sometime after that, I signed up for their little pre-check. Now, let's talk about what happened in my life before I signed up for pre-check. I've been in the Army. In the Army, I know at some point they took my fingerprints. And then during my time in the Army, I got a secret security clearance. After I've gotten out of the Army, I held that secret security clearance throughout most of the time in the Army, and then I had to get it renewed when I was in the Coast Guard. So I had a secret security clearance for maybe 3 or 4 years in the military. After the military, I've applied for and been admitted to the state bar in 2 states, Oklahoma and Kansas. You got to submit your fingerprints. You got to fill out a big, long application, all your history, all this and that. I've also applied for a gun license. It used to be called concealed carry in Oklahoma. It's now a gun license. You got to submit your fingerprints, submit all that stuff. And so I signed up for their little pre-check. You got to go down there, give them your fingerprints. Before that, it wasn't all as exhaustive as when I signed up for the bar in Oklahoma, Kansas. But you got to give them all your information before you go down there. You do it online. Then you go down there and they just take your fingerprints. You pay the money. A week or 2 later, however long, they give me my little number. All right. So I signed up for, that was about 5 years ago. In fact, it's about time to renew, but after what happened a week ago, I don't know what the point is in having pre-check. Well, I'll talk more about that here in a minute. Let me get it right. So, during these 5 years I've had this pre-check, I've gotten called for these random inspections, I think twice. One random, you come through you only have to, if you go into the pre-check line, you come through the metal detector, and you don't have to take everything out of your pockets. You don't have to take your belt off. You don't have to take your shoes off. You come through the metal detector. Well, I've been called random one time to go through the the radiation machine, the body scanner. And I think this was the first time I got called for that after I refused the pat down after they said there was something on my back from the body scanner. Anyway, so I'm like, oh God. So they put me in the scanner and then they let me go. Everything was fine. And I got another random one for, they wanted to look in my bag, my electronics. They had to pull my computer out and do their little swab. They think they're so professional and they do the little swab. Okay, and then I had my third random one a week ago from yesterday. But before we get there, let's talk about the very last time I flew before this last time, when I flew back from Amsterdam. It was almost exactly, just a little less than a year ago. It was Christmas Eve. I was coming back Christmas Eve from Amsterdam last year. And the initial security, and I use that in quotes because it's not security. It's a joke. I'm going to talk more about that later. You got to go through the initial security where they have the body scanner and all that, and your baggage and all that. So I get through that. Everything's fine. Although the woman there, she had to go through my bag. She started pulling out all my little things that I bought, and looking at it. And I'm like, Yeah, and I remember when she first grabbed my bag, and she's like, do you mind if I look in your bag? And I'm like, yeah. And she starts looking in my bag, and I go, or starts like unzipping it. And I go, well, she couldn't unzip it because I had a lock. But she starts to go into it, and she goes, do you mind if I look in your bag? I said, yes, I mind. And then she started, and then she was like, because she wasn't expecting me to say that. And I'm going to talk more about that. People, we need to raise a ruckus. We need to just quit automatically saying yes to whatever these people want to do. Whatever they want to do to you. 99.9% of you, well, yes. You can touch my penis and my testicles. You can shove a probe up my ass. Whatever you want to do, I'm not going to say anything. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. So I get through all the security, the main security in Amsterdam Airport a year ago. I'm going to get on the plane. And they always have these guys. I've seen them, but I don't know how you get chosen for them. But they're always doing these random inspections of just a few of the people going on the plane. Never had any run-ins with them. So I'm going on the line to give the lady your ticket, or you may have already given her a ticket, and all of a sudden there's this guy. Oh, and I don't even know how he picked me. I don't even know how I got picked for this. You see him over there like they're trying to avert your eyes and just trying to go down that entry ramp to get on the plane. Somewhere or another, he saw me and he made eye contact with me. Oh, you mind if I do a little inspection? I'm like, yeah, I mind. Well, anyway, so then he calls me over, and I'm protesting every bit of this. I'm letting them know what I think of them the whole time. Everything out of my pockets, got to put them on the table, my shoes off. Then they do the pat down, although they just kind of came up my legs, barely touching my balls. Doing their little swab on everything in my backpack, my carry-on little bag. I always had this little backpack. And I was, this guy knew how mad I was, and I was letting him know. And he was trying to act all like he was in charge, and he's the big man on the airport. I learned later on, after I looked it up, they work for a private security company. They're private security. They're not even government employees. Anyway, so that was the first and only time I'd ever been touched in my crotch area. Trying to get on an airplane. And those guys, they were just complete jerks. They were complete assholes. Anyway, so this was a week ago yesterday was my first time to fly since that incident. I'm still signed up for pre-check. and all that. So I'm going through the little pre-check line, and you walk through, and it doesn't beep at first. It doesn't beep like a normal metal detector does at the instant you're going through. I get a couple steps, and I'm like, oh, thank God. And then it beeps, and then this complete jackass. And I got so mad during all this, I forgot, because usually I get people's names. I forgot to get his name. He works at the Tulsa airport. He's probably near 70 years old, late 60s, and he's all gray, and he's got this gray, big handlebar mustache. So I'm sure he's the only one out there with a big handlebar mustache, a sick pervert. And I wish I knew his name, because I'd love to be putting his name on YouTube and all over Facebook. But he knows who he is. And the people who have been to the airport probably have run into him. The big handlebar mustache, a complete attitude, a complete sick, disgusting pervert. So he's there as I go through the metal detector. Oh, random. He puts me over to the side, and then a second or two later he comes over. Oh, well, you've got called for a random. And then when he uses the words, I automatically know this is going to be bad. Hip and knee search. I don't know exactly how I said it, but I remember he said hip and knee. And he takes me over to the little place where to do the sexual assault. I said, no, I'm not doing it. And you can just see the look. His eyes. He's one of these sick, disgusting people that would take a job with the TSA, who are obviously psychopaths. And obviously you bow down to him and his authority. You don't say, no, I'm not going to do it. Because you could just tell by the look in his eyes and the expression on his face how, and he starts saying, you have to do it. You have to do it. And I'm like, I don't have to do anything. And this is where I'm going to talk a little bit about what our rights are at the airport. Folks, we don't have to do anything. We don't have to let these people search us. We don't have. Now, they're not going to let you get on your plane. They're not going to let you go off and get on your plane. You're going to be taken outside of security and sent away. But you don't have to do it. In that time, 5 years ago, or how long ago it was, when I said I refused their pat down, they started the same lie. You have to do it. And they told me this last time. They told me about 8 to 10 times, you have to do it. And I said, no, I don't have to do it. And by this time, when I'm talking about what happened a week ago, they get the supervisor over there, he's in civilian clothes. After telling me 8 to 10 times you have to do it, then the story changes, well, you have to do it or we're not going to let you go get on your plane. Okay, fine. Why don't you just tell me that from the beginning instead of lying to me, telling me you have to do it? Just because you want to touch some man's penis because you're a sick, disgusting pervert. So, anyway, handlebar mustache man, he tells me over and over, you have to do it. I said, no, you're not touching me. And at this point, I'm thinking, I'm not, I guess I didn't mention, I was going to Las Vegas for a weekend trip. I'd bought a ticket for that night, that Friday night, to the Blue Man Group, and I'd bought a ticket to Andrea Bocelli for Saturday night, and that ticket cost me about $300. Yeah, I was sitting way in the back. So at this point, I'm saying, it's going through my mind. I don't have much time to think, but I'm like, no, you're not touching me. So he calls, they mix it a big deal. Supervisor over here, this man's causing trouble, and this and that. So another uniform guy comes, and then I guess the guy who's in charge of the whole checkpoint in a uniform, not in uniform, he's in civilian clothes, comes over there, and, again, have to do it. I'm like, no, I don't have to do anything. And then they're like, and at one point, they said this 2 or 3 times, well, we can take you into the secret room. I said, if you're going to commit a crime against me, you're going to do it out here where everyone can watch and see what you're doing. We're not going to do your little sexual molestation in some private room. And, then they start, well, this is not a crime. This ain't a crime. Touching a man's penis when he doesn't want it is called a crime. You sick, disgusting TSA sick perverts. And it's not, and what's the other crime I'm trying to think of? Extortion. It's extortion. You have to let me do it or you don't get on your plane. So it's extortion. They're extorting, letting you allow them to touch you in your genitals or you're not going to get on your plane. So it's extortion. It is a crime. So I kept telling them, this is a crime, you're not going to do it. And then finally I'm like, I'm just thinking they're going to come up my thighs, their hand's going to touch my balls real quick, and then they're going to go back down and maybe touch me around the waistline. So I'm thinking, I'm trying to process this all in my head real quick, because I really want to go to see these shows that I bought these tickets for, and I didn't want to lose the money. So finally I said, fine, all right. So Mr. Handlebar Mustache gets down, order me to spread my legs, and he gets down there, and coming up the legs ain't what happens. He starts at the front of my pelvis, he starts at the side, and then he comes right to the middle, touching my penis. I clearly felt it. Now, what reflexes am I having to prevent myself from doing? Some sick, disgusting pervert is touching your penis. Your brain's telling you knee this guy in the face, punch him, kick him, stomp him. But I can't do that, because and then I know I'm really going to be in trouble, end up charged in federal court with assaulting a TSA agent. So I didn't even really think about it. It just came out. I said, you are a fucking pervert. And I wasn't even looking down. I'm looking straight ahead, just looking somewhere. And in my mind, while I'm getting sexually molested, I'm telling myself, Ramey, just keep telling yourself, you live in a free country. You live in a free country. You live in a free country. Because I just thought this was going to be a quick up the legs. I didn't know this sicko, this disgusting, despicable, sick man is going to grab my penis. So anyway, when I say that, he stops and he gets up and gets in my face, starts wagging his, and I would have stomped this old man in about 5 seconds, and I wish he would have touched me. I wish he would have touched me in something outside the sexual assault where I could have properly defended myself. He won't text me that way, and the guy in the civilian clothes, the boss had to like grab him and physically restrain him. And I'm saying, I'll say anything to you I want. And his boss has to physically restrain him, pull him offside, and sends him off. And then we argue some more. And here's why I screwed up. I should have said what I said to him when he was done, because now we got to do it again. Well, we argue some more. Now I argue with the other TSA guy there that's in uniform, and then the other guy who's in civilian clothes. And at this point, I don't know where the cop comes from, but a Tulsa airport cop shows up. And Mr. Civilian Clothes says to him, oh, well, we were trying to touch him, and the foul language started. And the cop says, well, I'll stand by here. And the cop didn't have much to say to me, but I'll talk more about that in a minute. But this is just the most mind-boggling thing in the world. He's complaining about my foul language. These 3 men, these sick animals, disgusting perverts, are sexually molesting me right there in the middle of the airport, touching my penis. And they're worried about my foul language. They're worried that I said, you're a fucking pervert. What country am I living in? They're worried about my language, and they're sitting there making me submit to their sexual molestation. Anyway, so then the cop kind of standing there. He's kind of walking, kind of like looking at me. I said, if you were a police officer, if you were a real police officer, you would arrest these men for sexual molestation. And he's not even looking at me. He's kind of looking at me at the corner of his eye, but he kind of just walks. Anyway, so finally I'm like, fine, bring it on. Because, Handlebar Mustache, he's already touched my penis. So hell, we might as well make a party of it. What the hell? So the other guy, he puts his gloves on, and he does the exact same thing, right across my groins, touching my penis as he goes along. And I kept my mouth shut at that point. And then, I don't know, then he did go up my thighs real quick, and then, then they said, you're done, you can go. And I said, I hope you enjoyed it. I should have said more, but I'm like, I just need to grab my bag and get out of here. And my bag was right in front of me, and I just grabbed it, didn't even look at him, just took off. Now, let's talk about what this is all about, folks. And George Carlin said it the best in a video he did many years ago. And he died, I just checked when I made this video, he died 10 years ago, so he died even before they started the pat-downs. But he made this long video about airport security. Obviously, he made it sometime after 9/11. But let's just listen to the very end of the video. He does about a 10-minute video that's on YouTube. But let's listen to just the very last of what he says this is all about, because he's exactly right. Here's George Carlin.
As far as I'm concerned, all of this airport security, all the searches, the screenings, the cameras, the questions, it's just one more way of reducing your liberty and reminding you that they can fuck with you anytime they want. As long as you put up with it. As long as you put up with it.
Folks, that's what it is all about. Showing you that they can fuck with you anytime they want. Showing you that they can do anything they want. Anything. Anything they can touch a man's penis. They can grab a woman's vagina and mess with their boobs, or you're not getting on your plane. I'm signed up for Precheck. I'm called out for a rant. This is rant. So how many people went through before me that didn't get their penis touched? 100? Well, what if one of them had a bomb in his scrotum or attached to his penis? And my random check was only my crotch and my thighs. Well, what if I had a bomb in my shoes? What if I had a bomb taped onto my back? This was not any kind of search for a bomb. It's just showing you that they can fuck with you anytime they want to and do whatever they want. And then, like Carlin says, as long as you put up with it. As long as you put up with it. Well, maybe I'm an asshole. Maybe everyone thinks I'm an asshole because I screw up their system. Well, folks, like the first time I told you when I refused, 5 years ago, whatever it was, I had 10 men tied up. An FBI agent, wherever he came from, the FBI agent and the federal air marshal, they showed up from whoever knows what raw pit of sewage they live in at the airport. I think there was 2 Tulsa airport police. The civilian guy who was obviously in charge, or wearing civilian clothes, and then about 3 or 4 guys in TSA uniform. I had them tied up for 30 minutes. Now just imagine if only 10%, maybe even 5% of the people did what I did and refused. You would shut that checkpoint down. Checkpoint, I hate that term. That sexual molestation era. If 10 people said, no, I'm not going to let you touch my genitals, you would shut that checkpoint down, and then they'd have to figure out something else. They'd have to stop doing this to us. And folks, when I say they, just like when George Carlin says they, that encompasses a whole bunch of people. The government in general, but their henchmen, the TSA, the police, private security guards they may hire, or even private security guards that are out working privately doing things to you. Like, for example, these arenas. Well, it may be a private security, but if the arena is owned by the government, then it's government action. And remember, the Constitution only applies to the government. You go to any private business, well, they can do anything they want to you and tell you can't come in. There is no constitutional rights. Let's say a grocery store. Every grocery store said, we got to put a probe up your ass to see if there's a bomb up there before you come in. Well, there is no Fourth Amendment protection. There is no constitutional protection. They can do anything they want to you. But any place that is like some of these arenas and where they have concerts, like here in Tulsa, we have the GOK Center downtown. Well, it's owned by the government. I think it's owned completely by the city. Well, that's government action. But anyway, they are all these people who want to control you and who want power and control, because that's what these TSA guys are about. They weren't looking for a bomb in my scrotum or my penis. They were showing that they had the power and control over me, and they can do whatever they want, because only sick individuals would take a job Who would take a job where they want to touch a man's penis like that? Sick. You got to be sick. You're a sick pervert. A sick, disgusting pervert. And I know there's going to be people from the TSA watching this video. You're sick, disgusting pervert. You people are sick. Why would you do that to another human being? Do you people have no conscience? Whatever? Well, no, because you're psychopaths. That's the kind of people who take these jobs. Normal people would not take these jobs. You know, well, Ramey, you wouldn't want to touch a man's penis. Let's say the TSA said, Ramey, we'll give you a job. You're just going to touch women, 16 to 25 years old, only the best looking ones. They're going to come through and we're going to, 8 hours a day, you're going to touch their vagina and boobs. Some psychopath would say, yeah, that's great. I don't want to do that. I don't want to touch anybody. I don't want to touch anybody that doesn't want me to touch them. I don't want to sexually assault any woman, any man, no one, because I'm not sick in the head. I'm sane. I'm not a psychopath. Who would take such a job? Now, again, that you're all the only right you have is to tell them no, and they'll sit there and they'll say you have to do it. You don't have to do it. Now they're going to eventually kick you out of the secure area and send you on your way. They're not going to let you go get on your plane, but you don't have to do it. Now, after my little run-in with these disgusting perverts, just about a week ago, I posted about what happened on Facebook. Got on my plane, got to Las Vegas, and then I'm checking my, who's responded on Facebook. And of course, I don't. Everyone that follows me on Facebook is, pretty much believes in what I have to say. Though, why would some psychopath that agrees with what the TSA does follow me on Facebook? I don't know. But some guy, I don't know who he was, he posts some comment. Well, these people are only trying to protect us from people getting bombs on the airplane. You don't have to fly. And then he said, the last thing he said was, you shouldn't make a scene at the airport for these brave men trying to protect us from all. Make a scene. Make a scene. Who is making a scene? Me saying no, or some sicko touching my penis? Making me stand there and grabbing my penis. Who's making a scene? How dare, and I was really mad because this was only like 2 hours after I'd been molested. And I told that guy, I called him every name in the book, and maybe I lost control, maybe. And I'm not going to apologize to him because he's just as sick as these sickos that touch you at the airport. But I do sometimes feel bad because sometimes I do go, like right after an incident happened, and this was 2 hours later, right after the incident happened, this guy's telling me I shouldn't make a scene. Again, folks, all this stuff I talk about our rights, all these videos I've made, everyone just automatically waives them. Can I search your car? Yes. What's this big bag of weed we found in your car? And then the people start telling them their entire life history of drug usage, going back years. Well, officer, let me tell you all about it. Here, let me sign the waiver of my Miranda rights. Because we don't want to make a scene. We got guys like this telling us, well, not just guys like this. Every once in a while they come and they'll post on these YouTube videos I make, or they'll post on my Facebook page. Well, how dare you give these officers a hard time by not waiving your rights? You have to wait. And they make it sound like I am a bad guy and I'm doing something wrong because I'm trying to educate people about their constitutional rights, the United States Constitution. And basically what we're talking about is the first 10 amendments, although there's other things within the Constitution itself and then other amendments that came later. Oh, you're not supposed to assert those rights. You have them, but you can't assert them because that's making a scene. That's giving the officer a hard time, Ramey. We can't give an officer a hard time. You have to waive your rights. And this is what again, I'm back today, and it's all these people, law enforcement, TSA, they want you conditioned to automatically waive your rights. The TSA wants you to not say anything. In fact, and that's the one right they they haven't gotten away with at the airport yet. The First Amendment. Just like I told the guy, you're a fucking pervert. And he said, you won't talk to me. I'll say anything to you I want. I will say anything to you I want, you sicko. And I hope there's a lot of TSA people watching this video, because you people are sick. And see, they can't stop me from saying it. They can't stop me. They want you to be like a Jew in Auschwitz. You got the little hat, and you got to bow down. You got to take your hat off when the SS addresses you. Oh yes, sir, yes. Because if you didn't do that as a prisoner in Auschwitz in 1944, they killed you, shot you on the spot, and that's what people like the TSA wish they could do to you when you don't bow down. You got to bow down. Like I said, Mr. Handlebar Mustache, he could tell. When I questioned his authority, questioned the sexual molestation he was getting ready to perform on me, when I questioned that, you could see the psycho eyes. You could just see him getting mad. And again, he tried to hit me. I guess he was coming at me, and his boss had to pull him away. And I so much wish he would have put his hands on me in a different way, in a way where I would have been justified to defend myself. But they want you conditioned to waive your rights and to sit there and bow down to them while you do it. If only a few of us would say no at the airport, we would shut that assembly line sexual molestation machine down. If there was 10 of us at once refusing, and you had 10 guys, TSA or FBI or whoever else, tied up on their phones, telling you have to do it, that meant there would be no one else to screen all the other people coming through, and you would shut them down. Now, after that guy told me how I was making a scene at the airport, there was a couple things I was thinking of. This picture right here, Tank Man. I got this up on my wall. It's been up on my wall since I've been an attorney. He's making a scene. He's causing a scene out there on the street. How dare he do that? Well, that's me. That's why I got this up on my wall. It's been up on my wall since I've been an attorney. Because more people need to be like this. Maybe you can only put a little sand in their machine and break their machine down for 5 minutes. Well, hell, that's better than just going along and saying, taking off your hat. Yes, Mr. SS man, yes, very good. I bow down to you and your authority. Maybe more people should make a scene like that. And then there's this one. I need to put this up on my wall sometime. I hope it comes across good on the video. And I read about what this was, and I've forgotten. But I think it was where these people worked. I think it was like a shipyard or something. I may be wrong about that, but it was something that, Hitler had come by to see him, or some other Nazi official. And then they're all giving the Nazi salute. And then there's this guy. And it says, be this guy. He's going like this. Oh, he's making a scene. Oh my God. How dare he? How dare he not go along and give the Nazi salute? How dare him? And I've read about what happened to him. He got some more trouble because he refused to go along with the Nazis. And I meant to look it up before I made this video, but I already knew this video was going to get too long. So anyway, we need more people like that. We need people like that at the airport, like me, causing trouble. Not just acting happy that some guy's touching my penis. And then this one. And I got a little poster up on my wall over here, which is this, and then it says, "When injustice becomes law, resistance becomes duty." You know what these guys are doing? This is Christmas Day. I don't remember what year. They're crossing the river because they're going to go make a scene because they're going to kill a whole bunch of people. They're going to kill them. Hessian mercenaries that were fighting for the British. They go to Trenton, New Jersey, and they killed a whole bunch of them. Oh my God. They made a scene. Oh, they should have just bowed down to the authorities. The British, let the British do whatever they want. The British were coming in with writs of assistance, search warrants they wrote themselves, for search anything they want. All these stupid taxes. And they said, no, we're not going to put up with it. We're not going to put up with it. And we're going to make a scene. We're going to take a couple thousand men across the river and we're going to go kill a whole bunch of people on the day after Christmas. And we're going to make a scene. You know, we need more people like this today. All we got to do is say no. 10% of the people going through those checkpoints, if you said no, you're not going to touch me, you would shut. Because, again, like I said, the first time it took about 30 minutes. All three of the, about 10 guys, I had 10 guys tied up for about 30 minutes. They're on their phone, they're talking to me, this and that, telling me I have to do it, no. Be this guy. Be this guy. That's me. That's me. Well, I'm one of these guys. I'm one of them. This guy. Look, you got this big machine. And if you see there's other pictures of this. I mean, the line of tanks just goes on and on and on. There's like 20 or 30 tanks. And this guy, did he prevent what happened at Tiananmen Square? And if you don't know what happened at Tiananmen Square, I know a lot of you younger people, go look it up. Go look it up. And you can find all kinds of things on YouTube about this guy. They don't know whatever happened to him. We don't know. There was a, what am I trying to say, video of this, not just photos, but the videos. Finally, some people go and grab him and take him away. And whether they were security police or people trying to help him, we don't know. We don't know if he was ever executed. We don't know whatever happened to him. We don't even know his name. But at least he stood up for 5-10 minutes. At least. Instead of just not making a scene, just go along. Whatever they want to do to you, Ramey, whatever they want to do. They want to stick a probe up your ass to see if there's a bomb up there. Don't make a scene. All right. Folks, this video's gone on and on. It's one of my longest Know Your Rights videos. And again, this was more of a rant than it was knowing your rights, because at the airport, we really have no rights. Although, just remember, you don't have to do anything. All they can do is kick you out. They can't do anything else to you except kick you out if you refused a sexual molestation. All right. Now, remember, folks, never waive your rights when having a police encounter, unless you eventually have to at the airport. If you want to go get on your plane, at least cause a scene, at least screw up their system. You know, be hesitant about it. And then tell them what you think. Let them know that they're fucking perverts. Don't just smile at them and say, oh, thank you, sir. Thank you for touching my penis. Thank you for, if you're a woman, thank you for touching my boobs. Thank you for touching my crotch. Thank you. I will bow to you. Let them know what you think of them. And mess it and tell them no at first. So you cause disruption at their little TSA checkpoint. All right. Now, what I was getting ready to say, never waive your rights during a police encounter. Always assert your constitutional rights. I've been through them all on all these videos. So go, if you haven't seen all the other videos, go watch them. And until next time, and I will try to make more videos more often. I'm sorry I haven't made one in such a long time. Anyway, we'll say so long to you, and stay safe out there, and don't let the perverts touch your penis. All right, see you guys.